Hi, good morning. I'm Jill Sandwright Calendar, the author of The Happy Little Garbage Truck picture book and educational program. I don't know if you can see this. And as always, I'm trying to get my YouTube in before 7 at my time here, Eastern Standard Time, because the glitchiness starts. But we're going to go right beyond that because this is really important. I just said, let me just do this morning, stop everything. Um, because it's been about 4 weeks since I said I was going to begin this new series. And this is, uh, it, well, life. What can I say? We had a family reunion, we were out of town, came back, and there are just, family things to do. And it's summer vacation, so there's well, for me, this is the best time for me to do YouTubes because I've had time to reflect on what this past semester um, gave me as far as ideas. Um, and the thing that settles most of um, my issues with how can I get into this series was kind of coalesced in one particular series of school meetings. Uh, there was a theme throughout each one that I found kind of um, illuminated each thought that I had about doing this series. So there were about 3 or 4 different students. And the idea that kind of solidified in my mind that you need to do this about independence was each of their resource teachers made a comment to me that the students that I was helping them serve had one particular um, challenge, and that was to be self starting. One was a high school student. She would come in and she would, be all ready to work, and the work would be there for her, but she would not begin the work herself. She needed the resource teacher to come in and prod her and say, "Hey, this is your work. You've got your documents right here. You have the computer right here." And she just did not want to. Maybe it was fear, because I just thought of that. Maybe she was afraid that if she did something on her own, that it might be the wrong thing, and that she would have to be reprimanded or start over again. Excuse me. So I'm not discounting that, but each child would not start the work that they had to do on their own. And so what I did was I made a social story for 2 of them, no, 3 of them, about doing your work. And, I said, this might be very simple." I told the resource teachers that, even though it was a very basic idea, and I kind of remodeled it for each student, their interests, and the specific part of what their job was, doing my job, doing my work. Um, and each one was kind of geared towards just self-starting. One child loved Spider-Man and Spider-Man comic books, and it was one of my favorites as well. And so I said, "Well, Peter Parker was a student, so let me just find some images of him being in school, Spider-Man as Peter Parker being in school." And the resource teacher got back and said, "That was such a good social story." And I said, "Remember, you're supposed to read this to the child every morning because he had difficulty reading, and it was written as a listening story, and for him to see the images of Peter Parker actually navigating through school and sitting at a desk and doing his work." So this kind of thing is one tip that I felt was key to getting each of these students going. The high school student, we were still working on just, what was it that she felt uh, and capable of doing on her own. And that's still something that I'm looking into and will be asking the resource teachers since we have this break, what would they have liked uh, for the child to do? Was it a routine that needed to be established? Was it a fear of doing a specific subject? And then, if that's the case, then we could start working on topics that are more familiar or that she felt more confident in handling. But, whatever it is, we have to dissect in each case as a teacher, as a parent. You have to go back to like, what is the action that you would like, and what do you believe are the things that are interfering with that action beginning? And that's why I did the social story for the younger children. And not saying a social story would work for a high school student too, but we have to find out what is the actual thing that's keeping the child stuck and unable, feeling incapable of doing the next step. So, next, more on this next time. And I just thank you for being with me this morning. Please subscribe, please share, and we'll go through a few more ideas, and then I'll get to the research. But I thought first, let's just start with some practical ideas of how can you initiate a motivation in a child. Thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful day. God bless.